First, we will pay homage to the lineage gurus, to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, to Master Sakya Zhenkong, to the 16th Dharma King Karmapa, and Master Tupten Darji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa, the auspicious Hevajra, the great teacher Heruka of the great compassion and wisdom of empty nature. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, head of temples, all disciples present here and over the internet, and our guest of honor today, the wife of Secretary General Liao of the Coordination of North American Affairs of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Republic of China, Taiwan, Dharma Sister Judy. And the accountant of the True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa. And producers for the Illuminating Your Heart of CTI TV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca. And Dr. Lin. And Dharma Brother Gao Minglu. And Dr. Zhuang. And the wife of the head of the board of directors of the Overseas Credit Warranty Fund of the Republic of China, Dharma Sister Vivian. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How do you do? How are you? Thank you. All different languages. Good afternoon in Indonesian and Malay. So let me introduce the Homa for next Sunday, October 27th, 2013, at 3 p.m. There would be a Homa for Mahamayuri. And the most important sutra for Mahamayuri, the great Peacock King Buddha Mother. At that time, one of the Buddha's disciples was bitten by a poisonous snake, and he was about to die. So Ananda asked Sakyamuni Buddha, so what should we do in this case? So the Buddha spoke on the Mahamayuri Sutra. So Mahamayuri is the main deity for detoxification. Everyone have toxins in your bodies, so if you want to detox, then you would need the help of Mahamayuri. Because for peacocks, if they eat poisons or toxins, their feathers would become more brilliant, brighter, and more beautiful. And then through this practice, they would become like fiery phoenix. So peacocks, after taking some poisons or toxins, their feathers would become very bright and beautiful. So thus the name the Peacock King Buddha Mother or Mahamayuri. And of all the Vidyarajas, the most beautiful one, there's only one, and that is Mahamayuri. And in the past, I thought, how come Mahamayuri Vidyaraja is so beautiful? And now I understand, because she is considered feminine, or the female lineage, the female deity. The other Vidyarajas considered to be the father deities or male deities. So the other Vidyarajas are men, and Mahamayuri is a woman. That's why Mahamayuri is extremely beautiful. The Buddha spoke on the Mahamayuri Sutra. Most importantly is for detox. These days, the food that we eat are mostly toxins. And the non-organic are filled with toxins. They are mixed with lots of additives, chemicals, pesticides, insecticides. So if you want to be beautiful, you need to be the primary supplicant for Mahamayuri. If you want to look good or beautiful, then you want to be primary supplicant. But if you want to be ugly, that is up to you. And Mahamayuri specializes on detoxification. So by practicing Mahamayuri Dharma, you can detox, you can live a long life and healthy and has great self-mastery. If you want to die young, or an accident, then you don't want to be the primary supplicants. All of a sudden you get sick. How come you would have cancers or tumors, or all of a sudden suffer from sicknesses, kidney or liver problems? That's because you have toxins in your body. And Mahamayuri is the key in detoxing. So if you have affinity with Mahamayuri, you would live a long life, has great self-mastery, and have great health. If you don't want to live a long life, if you don't want to be healthy, you don't want to be beautiful, you don't need to be the primary supplicants. If you don't want to have self-mastery, you don't need to be the primary supplicant. Because today the primary supplicants are few, are not that many. You know, peacocks are the only animals that can eat or handle poisons and toxins. That they, after taking the toxins or poisons, their feathers become more full and radiant and brilliant, beautiful. That was spoken by Mahamayuri, or the sutra on Mahamayuri as spoken by the Buddha. That's the key, is to help those that have toxins in their bodies. If you want to have cancers or tumors, then you don't need to be the primary supplicants. That's the end of the introduction. Today, we talk about Vajra, and the mudras are different. The thumb placed at the bottom of the ring finger and two palms joined together. It's not very obvious. It looks like palms being joined, but actually not, because the thumbs are touching the base of the ring fingers. And the seed syllable is home. So the emanation of Vajrasattva, Vajrapani. That's the mantra of Hevajra. Or you can either use sit or these mantras are okay. Any one of them are okay. Vaja is the same as pay, is to eliminate, eradicate. Vaja, pay means eradication. Or se. In English, also means eradication, because you need to eradicate shit. And his look, he has many arms. Hevajra is good, he has many arms, and each arm is holding a kapala or skull cup, and his legs are stepping on the 4 maras: the mara of death, mara of affliction, mara of sickness, and the divine or celestial mara are being stepped by Hevajra, which means that he has the ability to subdue or subjugate the 4 maras: mara of death, mara of sicknesses, mara of affliction, and the celestial maras. So he could subdue or subjugate these 4 maras. He has this power. So that means he could subdue everything. And I have written a book on Hevajra, and exposition on Hevajra is the emptiness within great bliss. And I have given lots of teachings on Hevajra. And he could eliminate all kinds of sicknesses, to subdue all wild beasts, to give all good fortunes, and to attain the 8 great self-masteries, and to control heaven and earth and sun and moon. Hevajra is the first Heruka that appeared. And he is also Heruka that has the most consorts. So most Herukas would have the 8 great Dakinis or consorts around. So when we make offering to the consorts or Dakinis, there are the 4 guardian Dakinis, the Dakinis of the 8 directions, and then all the heavenly or celestial goddesses are Dakinis. So when we make offering to Dakinis, we would recite, we are offering to the 4 directional guardians, the Dakinis of the 8 directions, and all the goddesses of the 20 heavens. Because Grandmaster has given many talks on Hevajra, I will not repeat them here. How long did I give the teachings on Hevajra? 5 years on Hevajra. So today, I don't need to repeat them. So today, I will talk about the great perfection Dharma. Before, I have said that for the high adept or the attainer of the great perfection Dharma, there are many different kinds of death. But today I will talk about the inner meaning of the death. So death in Buddhism has been talked about a lot, and life is also mentioned, but less than death, because death is more important than life or birth. The fairest of all on earth is death. Doesn't matter how high your position is, doesn't matter how beautiful or handsome you are, it doesn't matter how much money you have, even if you're richer, wealthier than the heavenly king or the mountain god or the dragon god, doesn't matter how big your house is, how much money you have, how much treasures you have, we all end at the same path. It's death. The end of the path is death. Yesterday, someone asked Grandmaster, do you want a private plane, a private jet? Wow. I can fly here and there, and anywhere I go, I can take my own private plane. But I thought, no, I don't want it. Grandmaster, I am the wealthiest. Do you want the biggest Leizang temple of all the world? Do you want it? And I thought, no, I don't want it. They want to make an offering of the biggest Leizang temple, and I said no. Why? Because he added, if I won a lottery. Of course I said no, no need. Waiting for you to win the lottery? Maybe I would have died already. And someone said, Grandmaster, whatever you want, I would give it to you. And I thought, and I told them, I want to return to 18. Can you give that to me? No, no way. I want to return to 18. No way. See, he cannot give anything I want. He said, no, this one I can't. You may own anything, materials, but you may not own life. Inside Grandmaster's heart, Grandmaster does not own any Leizang temples. There's no need for you to give me a temple. And how long have I driven my car, the Bentley? From 1999. My Bentley is 99. It's been 14 years and I haven't changed it. Do I want to change it? Because recently this car gave me a lot of problems. As I'm driving it, I almost pull out the steering wheel. And the directional it got loose. And Foqi checked on my car, and I asked him, what happened? The lights kept coming up. And he told his mom, Mom, that stick got bad. It's broken. I didn't say anything. Why did you laugh? What were you thinking? So you must have evil thoughts in your mind. So they said that Wednesday at 9 it would be taken for repair. If it is just loose, then they could just tighten it. But if it's broken, they have to order it to England, because Bentley and Rolls-Royce is made in England. So they need to order it in England. And in America, they'll take half a year to order something. Actually, it's faster, but because they always make mistakes, so at the end it takes half a year. So the car is like this now. It's in this situation. And for tantric quarter, when we built it, the poles are not waterproof, so sometimes there's water there, and so the poles are a little bit rotten, and the ground is sinking. So and the back garden, we have a Reverend Lien Qin from New York that helped. The deck was rotten and he was helping. And someone said, we can just rebuild it. And I said, well, we'll wait and see. Just let it be. For me, I have no mind, which means there's nothing I expect or I wish for. I don't think of anything. I'm not thinking about the past or the future or now or even for present. I don't think of anything. Because it doesn't matter how good a house is or how good a car is, they would go bad eventually. And especially our bodies, everything is equal. My true Leizang temple is in heavens and not in the Saha world, not in this human world. Because in the human world there is none, we don't have any Leizang temples that would be permanent. There isn't anything that is permanent in this world. There is no permanent Sheng-Yen Lu either. So I take everything with a very open mind. Whether you slander me, defame me, criticize me, or you praise me, or you like me, or anything is fine. So after I reach a certain realm in my spiritual cultivation, I find that everything is fine. Everything is fine. Nothing bothers me. But of course, sometimes I have concerns for Qi or for Qing or my grandchildren, Lu Hong, Jaden, or Jin. How come Lu Jin is always so short? Lu Hong and Lu Jin, after I give her blessing, her skin got better, almost completely cured, and the scar will take a year to be completely gone. But recently, it recurred again. And for Jaden, he never grows much taller. He's the shortest in class, the same as I was when I was young. And for Jin, she still has skin problem. And I asked them to come to receive blessings from Golden Mother. So sometimes I have these little concerns. But I think this way. I can change my mind that Jaden is a reincarnation of a head monk, a senior monk of the Four Sun. And because of the name, like a senior monk, so maybe eventually he would grow tall. Like even Grandmaster in 70 years old still wish to grow taller. That's why I do this exercise. Because Dharma sister Jiaxing said, by doing this you would grow taller. So every morning I would do this. Then I have no more concerns. That eventually he would grow taller. And Jin is the Bodhisattva of the 7th ground, and she has this skin problem, skin allergy. So if she has to suffer for all her life, she was beautiful, but because of the skin allergy, the eyes and the look, and because she's using cortisone too much, she doesn't look very nice. But I thought, who knows, perhaps she would never get married. Then in the future she would become a nun and then dedicate to spiritual cultivation and return to her original ground of the 7th ground bodhisattvahood, or even increase and then have attainment in the future. Then that would be a good thing. So this way you eliminate the Mara of affliction. So Grandmaster has no ambitions on this earth. Then you would eliminate the Mara of affliction. And of course we also eliminate the Mara of death, because I view death as liberation. So Grandmaster's death is liberation. At any time before I get on bed, I would be mindful of my yidam and recite yidam's mantra. So anytime I would be guided by my yidam. And on a plane, I also have the yidam on top of my head and reciting or mindful of the yidam. Then at any time, if something happens on the plane or on the ship, I would be able to be guided by the yidam. That This way, death is liberation. It's a kind of liberation. That I'm telling you that the fairest of all on earth is death. That every single individual would have to die. Doesn't matter whether you are a prophet or a founder like Sakyamuni Buddha, Jesus Christ, Muhammad. Even when you're resurrected, and after you die and you're resurrected, and you would have to die again. So it's the most fair. It's the fairest of all. So that's why sentient beings should no need to be afraid of death. As long as you are steadfast, committed in spiritual cultivation, and you have the strong faith, you don't need to be afraid of anything. You would have your root guru, your yidam, or your protector to come, meet, and guide you to the Buddha lands. So now, Grandmaster, in this realm, I'm just playing. I'm just having fun. So if you have no ambitions, why do you wear all those jewelries and diamond and gold watch? This is just for fun. So when I die, I will take them off for my descendants. I will not be able to carry them. It's just fun. Oh, it's very sparkling and they look good. So that's all. So the high adept of great perfection Dharma has this kind of viewpoint. So I would leave a portrait for everyone. Someone that's very stingy asked a painter for a portrait but didn't want to give the fees. So the painter painted something, and then after he take a look at the painting, said, how come you paint my back instead of my face? And then the painter said, well, if you want something painted and then you don't want to pay, then do you have face to meet anyone? No. So Master Lien Miao is the great painter of Seattle. Her paintings are very expensive. My paintings are cheap. So you can just buy mine. Because her paintings meet the international standard, but my paintings is the true Buddha school standard. Of course, her paintings are expensive, and my paintings are cheap. And our disciples are poor, so you can just buy my paintings. This is just for fun. So death in great perfection Dharma is very simple. So ignite the inner fire or tummo and transform the cool fire to become a very hot, fiery fire. So hot that you can melt all the gold, silver, bronze, and metals. So when you can ignite your inner fire so that you can melt all the gold, silver, and all metals. That must be really high temperature. So in high school, I learned about metal. What's that called? So when you can reach such state that when the inner fire blares, raises, so that you can melt all those metals, then your body would be completely dissipates. Then at this time, the Buddha nature inside you would merge with the Buddha nature of the universe. So this is death. The air of the universe, so as if it's like a bottle that is broken, and the air inside the bottle mix with the air outside and merge together. That's the death of great perfection, Dharma. So ignites the inner fire. When you are about to leave the world to be liberated, you ignite the inner fire and you melt yourself completely until it's completely gone. And you don't even have any hair or nails left over, including the clothes are all completely burned. And all the Dharma robes, crowns, everything is completely gone. Then only this would be called a great mastery of your life and death. So you use your samaya fire and burn yourself, the dragon robes, the crowns, and the 4 elements until it's completely gone. That's the number 1 death. Nothing is left. Everything is completely burned and gone, and attaining Buddhahood directly. There is this method of death in Great Perfection Dharma. It has such power. And the second kind of death, so what is the second-rate death? The 4 elements of the earth, water, fire, and wind or air are transformed completely to become light. Then you would become light. The first-rate death is using the inner fire to burn them. And second, after you are able to see your own Buddha nature, which is blue light, and then you radiate this light through all the skin pores, and you radiate the light through the skin pores. So that kind of light, this most important light at the center, would be like an arrow being shot to the sky. And your Buddha nature would shoot directly through the tip of the crown to the Buddha land, and to become a Buddha directly, to attain Buddhahood, just like an arrow that shoots through the infinite sky, infinite space to the Buddha land. That's your Buddha nature that shoot through the tip of the crown, and what you leave is the whole body sarira. So, or the stone monk is the whole body sarira that's left at death. So when they passed away, they have the heart chakra open, the Buddha nature appeared, and the Buddha nature is like an arrow that shoots through the universe and become a Buddha directly. So in Great Perfection Dharma, you would be able to see your own Buddha nature because the 5 chakras are completely open. And the Buddha nature is like a finger-shaped, finger-long Buddha, blue light. And it would become like an arrow that would shoot through the space or to the universe. That's the second-rate death. And the third-rate death is that because your body can emit light, that the earth element has the light of the earth, and the water element has the light of the water, and the fire, the light of the fire, and the wind element has the light of the wind or air, and also the light of the consciousness or void. So the 5 colored lights, so it would be shining or emitted from your body, and you would be closing your eyes and sitting quietly. So you may not have whole body sariras. Maybe in sickness you would be able to emit these 5 colored lights because you practice the Great Perfection Dharma. You continually emit this 5 colored light. So the analogy would be like a lamp that has a full oil, and you lit the wick, and the flame is very bright. So the oil is full and the flame is very bright. So you have such light in your body or from your body. That's the third-rate death. There's cause and effect. When you practice Great Perfection Dharma, you also have cause and effect. The giraffe is getting married and with the monkey, and the monkey is in a rush, and they start to plan for the future of the children. And the monkey asked the giraffe, what should the children do in the future? And the giraffe said, why are you in such a hurry? And why are you so foolish? Because our children can play basketballs. And the monkey asked, why? Because the giraffe said, because they can jump. Because monkeys can jump very well. And the monkeys have to move swiftly. You know, driving in America is like monkey ride, because you have to look left and right. You have to be very careful. You keep checking on the cars left and right and behind you. So monkeys are very agile and they can jump very tall. So they would be good at basketballs. So your agility combined with my height, then we would be the second generation of Yao Ming, which is a famous basketball player of China. So in Great Perfection Dharma, there's also cause and effect. If you often practice the 4 elements, the earth, water, fire, and wind, they would be able to emit light. The earth is yellow light, and water, green light, fire, red light, and the wind, blue light. Then there would be colors, color light. So if you often practice great perfection, often practice the 4 elements, naturally you would be able to emit lights. And at the time of death, the lights would be emitted naturally. That means you already have fruition or attainments. You have attained the way. That's the reason for the 3rd-rate death. And the 4th-rate death is to transform to become a rainbow. So in your research of the great perfection, where does the rainbow light come from? From the 4 elements of earth, water, fire, and wind? Yes. And one more. As a human being, we all have karma or karmic retributions, obscurations, and also habitual tendencies. That according to Tantrayana, each individual has their own habitual tendencies or characters, and also karmic retributions and obscurations from many past lives. And also the 5 aggregates. So form, action, volition, perception, sensation, and consciousness. So you transform the 5 aggregates into 5 kinds of light. So the 5 aggregates can be transformed to become 5 lights. So with your karma and your habitual tendencies, you can transform to become a rainbow light. The rainbow would appear in sky. So the lineage gurus like Prahivajra or Garabdorje, like Vimala Mitra, Guru Padmasambhava, Sri Singha, all these wonderful sages like Manjushri Mitra, they all transformed to become rainbow light to go to heavens. Why did they transform to become rainbow light? Only Grandmaster knows. Very few people know. Because of their 5 aggregates, so the form and the 6 roots, and then combined with the habitual tendencies and their karma, would become the rainbow light, the 7-colored rainbow light, to go to the sky and attain Buddhahood. This is called Great Perfection Dharma. If you can transform your own habitual tendencies and karma, karmic retributions, to become light, Guru Padmasambhava also become rainbow light. All the same. So the death of Great Perfection Dharma is this great. There are 4 kinds of death, and this is the inner death, not from the surface. If you want to leave sariras on earth, whether it's the bone sariras, hair sariras, or blood sariras, like the hair sariras of Sakyamuni Buddha are black, and the bone sariras are white, and Sakyamuni Buddha's blood sariras are red. And Sakyamuni Buddha's the Buddha nature sariras are blue. There are many different kinds of sariras. And then In the future, if you want to be reincarnated in the Saha world to continue delivering sentient beings, you would have this kind of symbol. So if you want to be reborn here and you always want to deliver sentient beings in every life, you can leave behind these sariras. There's this joke. I heard that you broke up with your girlfriend. Yes. Why? I placed her on a bed filled with roses. Wow, so romantic. But I forgot to remove the thorns. So finally he broke up with the girlfriend. So when you buy a rose to give to your girlfriend, please cut the thorns. Cut the thorns. So that means we have no obstruction. So we always like the rose, I love you. Thornless rose represents true love. That's really nice. How come I'm talking about love? So Great Perfection Dharma is the same. You transform all the thorns, which is all the karma from all previous lives. You can transform them all. You can dissipate them. The 6 senses and the 5 aggregates can all be transformed, all dissipated, and what's left is a rose, which represents your attainment. No thorns. A rose with no thorns is a kind of attainment. So that's at the Great Perfection Dharma is like that. So you can transform all your habitual tendencies and your karmic obscurations, retributions into light. Transform them all into light. This joke, my husband, when he was overseas, the 4-year-old daughter wanted me to give birth to a son, to a little brother to her. And a good idea, but we should wait for your dad to come home. And then she replied, we should give him a surprise. That would be a big surprise. And Dad's not around. And this really happened. The wife of Shiva in Hinduism, Shiva was away for a long time, and Shiva's wife was really bored. He's gone for a long time, and they were both gods. So she gave birth to a baby from her body, and that baby is called Ganesh. And this baby grew up really fast. When there's a breeze, he grew and became a son. And Shiva got home and saw, what? There's a man next to my wife. And Shiva is very fierce, the god of destruction. So he took a sword and cut off his son's head. And then he fell to the ground. And the wife said, That's from my body. That's your son. And then Shiva became worried because God can like clone themselves and grow really big really fast when they are blown by the wind. So Shiva prayed to Vishnu, the god of protection, and Vishnu said, "It is easy to resurrect him. Just find a head and then put it to his neck." And then Shiva went out, and the first head that he found was an elephant. So he cut the elephant's head and then mend and placed the head on his son's body. And that's Ganesh, which is the elephant head Jambala, a wealth deity. So Shiva was the god of destruction, and Vishnu is the god of protection, and Brahma is the god of creation. The Hinduism are primarily these three gods, and these three gods emanate many other gods. And practicing great perfection Dharma, you can emanate bodies outside your body. So you can take a part of your body to become another you. Then you would be able to deliver sentient beings. Like all the deities that we practice, they are all emanated one by one. There is a system that in the Dharma Dhatu and Vajra Dhatu, in any quarters, they are all manifested. And they are all transforming back and forth. If you comprehend depths of great perfection Dharma, then you would understand that the attainments or the fruition of great perfection Dharma is at its peak, its topmost. So these four kinds of death are the death of the high adepts or the high attainers, which is the topmost death, not death of ordinary people. The death of ordinary people are really horrible, but the death of great perfection is really wonderful. Om Mani Padme Hum.